Number 32 is the Tomb of the Triclinium, and this is from Tarquinia, Italy. This is Etruscan. We've got 3 Etruscan artworks, 480 to 470 BCE, and tufa and fresco. So tufa is that volcanic compressed rock that they would carve into to create these chambers where the tombs are. And then a fresco, we need to write down what a fresco is because we're going to be seeing those a lot. Fresco is just the type of paint. So it's when you mix your paint with the wet plaster and it goes right onto the wall. And here you can also see it on the ceiling as well. They painted a checkerboard pattern on the ceiling. And then we'll talk about what's on the walls. All right, so this is where we're talking about. So the city of Tarquina is known for its painted chamber tombs, such as this one. The tomb is located in a necropolis. And chamber tombs are subterranean rock-cut chambers, and the tombs look like domestic interiors. All right, so that word triclinium, this is a dining table with couches along 3 sides. So that's what they are reclining on the frescoes that they're painting. So here on the right, you can see people kind of lounging and reclining, and it's the same for the sarcophagus of the spouses. They are also reclining. So here we're seeing the same thing that we're seeing on the sarcophagus of the spouses. All right, more context. So the elite members of the Etruscan society participated in elaborate funerary rituals, just like really the Egyptians. And we're talking about funerary rituals. When we think of a funeral, we typically think of the top left, right? What comes to mind? It's very sad. It's very somber. Everyone wears black. It's very quiet. So it'd be the exact opposite for the Etruscan funerals. These were lively feasts with music. There's dancing. It's more of a celebration than it is the sad, somber funeral that we know of. So the content is depicting this feasting funerary ritual. Here's another picture of them celebrating. All right, so specifically what we're seeing, there's a left wall scene and then the right wall scene. The left wall scene contained 4 dancers, so I'm showing you 2 here, 2 women and 2 men. They are playing musical instruments. That's what it's called, a barbiton, an ancient stringed instrument similar to a lyre. Looks like a harp that he's playing. And then it's also a landscape setting. So we're seeing, you know, trees, some with no leaves on them, some with some leaves on them. Kind of like right now outside. All right, which one is male and which one is female, and how can you tell? This is how we're going to start talking about the form. We have a male and a female. All right, so this is where we're going to start writing down about the painterly conventions of gender. There are specific colors, and I know I've talked about this before, but there are specific colors used to paint the sculptures of males and the sculptures of females, and the same for the wall paintings, the frescoes. So the skin of females is light in color, so she's on the right. She's also more clothed, so her top part is covered, and the male skin is tinted a darker tone of orange-brown, and then he is more bare-chested, so that's probably another way you can tell. This is not unique to Etruscan society. So this is also in Egyptian artworks. This is also in Greek artworks, the painterly gender conventions. Very typical in Etruscan art. All right, so the male's color signifies his participation in a sun-drenched external world, right? He is working outside. There is hard labor happening. And then the opposite for the females. Even though in Etruscan society, she is a citizen and she's considered equal, her place is still in the home. So since she is interior in this domestic setting, she would be more pale in skin tone. How the clothes are depicted here. Okay, function. So the function of the tomb of the Triclinium is to honor the deceased, right? They'd be having this feast and this party and this celebration to honor the person who passed. And it would also emphasize the wealth and the social status of the deceased person's family. Look at this big party that we can put on because of our means, right? Okay, so that's all you're writing for the artwork, but there's a lot of room. And what we're going to do is we're going to practice a little bit a typical essay question. So here could be an essay question from the AP exam. How is influence of Greek pottery, such as this, evident on Etruscan or in Etruscan artworks? And then you would have to stake a claim, right? Your claim is answering this question, but you can't just say the claim, you have to back it up. You have to match it with evidence. What is giving you the right to stake this claim? What evidence is supporting your theory? So I'm going to give you guys some examples, and then I want you to try this on your note page where you stake a claim that answers this question, and then you back it up with evidence. All right, so here's my claim, trying to answer this question. The figures on the Greek vessel demonstrate the influence of Greek culture in Etruscan artworks because of the figures reclining during a banquet, right? We're seeing this same thing happening. They're reclining, there's music, there's drinking, there's partying, there's feasting. This is a banquet. Same thing up here, right? They're reclining, there's drinking, there's partying, there's all that fun stuff. It's a banquet. Okay, so that's my claim, but I haven't backed it up. There's no evidence there. Also, the word because is very important. You got to say because. That's your because statement. All right, now I'm going to back it up. I'm going to use context as evidence to back up my claim, to support it. So here's my claim again. The figures demonstrate the influence of the Greek culture in Etruscan artworks because of the figures reclining during a banquet. So now here's how I'm backing it up. The Etruscans had celebratory funerals where they would dance, play music, and have large feasts to both honor the deceased and show off the wealth and social status of the deceased family. Now I use function here as well. Function can be considered context, right? That's background information. So that is what is supporting my claim. All right, next, here's another one. The figures on the Greek vessel demonstrate an influence on how Etruscans depict figures in the tomb of the Triclinium because of them all facing in profile view and having an archaic smile. So I'm talking about the form. Visually, I can see that they are all in profile view. I didn't want to say they're all in the composite view or twisted profile because she is not, but they both are. Okay. So again, use context as evidence to support or back up your claim. So here's my supporting evidence. Just like the Greeks traded with Egypt, which is why the artwork looks so similar, the same can be said for the Etruscans trading with the Greeks. So that is my supportive context. The Etruscans traded with the Greeks, which then created this influence to be seen. So what I want you guys to do is to stake a claim, make a claim, and then I want you to support it with evidence. There's also some contextual evidence. Turn this on this note page that you have that has the Venn diagram. On the top, I'm also giving you guys some more contextual evidence, and it talks about their funerary rituals and death and their tomb chambers and all that fun stuff. All right, so you're writing this on your note page. Ready, set,